Hello and welcome to the Video Gamer UK podcast. My name is Chris Barat and I am joined today by Mr. Simon Miller.
Looks like we made it.
Mr. Steve Burns.
Yeah.
And Mr. David Scammell.
Booyah.
Guys, what do you think of that? What do you think of
what?
we just heard? The new intro music.
I thought it was incredible. Thank you.
That new intro music.
You've almost
that
broken
I was
the
well
bubble.
aware of was really good.
You've almost...
Simon
people
Miller,
will now realise that we don't
2013.
play that to ourselves before we start the podcast.
Well, if they thought that anyway and they had their whole lives based
You've
on
ruined
that,
the dream.
I'm glad it's come crushing down and made them realise that life is not fun and games.
Wow.
It's bittersweet.
Wow.
Okay, so Simon's in one of these moods today, so this is going to be a fun podcast.
I had a very
Simon, do
stressful
you like
morning.
video games? No.
No, I do like video games. And the reason my morning has been so stressful and why we're recording this a little later than usual is because we've all been doing the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping we were going to start dancing. And then, no,
What is the Batman?
Just me started dancing. All right. Batman Multiple. Have you played it? It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Batman Arkham Origins multiplayer has finally come out of under its
Cape.
cloak-shaped
Cape.
rock.
Batman wears a cape. Come on,
Right.
guys.
He wears a cloak.
Jeez.
Yeah, it came out. I went to see it on Montag at Warner Bros. Offices, and I actually think it's very, very cool. Next.
No, I think
No,
maybe
there's
if we
more.
want to expand a little bit, just
wait.
include a few details.
Okay.
How do you
do,
Batman in it?
do you want to ask me questions? I'll answer them, or shall I just run amok?
Give us a little bit of a description to start with, I think, and
All
then
right.
we'll probe you for more.
So,
Is it good?
Yes, it's very well. It's potentially
That
very
is
good.
actually the most important question.
It still needs tweaking, but that's how I feel when I play a lot of multiplayer games early, because obviously that's what multiplayer is really. It's iteration and balancing and all of that. So you basically have three teams. You have the Joker team, you have the Bane team. They're two gangs with they're not in the teams of Joker or Bane. They're just
Right, okay, they're just
three of
gang
their
members.
Gang members, and that's 3 versus 3. And the third team is the heroes, which is obviously Batman and the one that we shall not speak of.
Robin, the Boy Wonder.
The
Yay.
Boy
Superman.
Wonder.
Superman's in it.
It could be, isn't it?
Amazing.
Oh, man,
I'll see.
imagine it. Imagine it.
So it's basically 3 versus 2, and as you can imagine, and you've already figured out, Batman and Robin won't use weapons, or they won't use guns. The other two will. So you have this kind of three-way dance where you've got two teams trying to kill each other, and Batman, while Batman and Robin try and
Yes,
take everybody
so
out.
the gangs are against each other as well. Bane
Yes,
and
I mean, basically,
Joker.
the way they do it from a narrative point of view, and as always, it's very, very lightweight, and just to give it some justification, is that Batman and Robin have discovered that there's a turf war going on in Gotham between Bane and the Joker,
Okay.
and they've gone in there to stop it. So there are terminals or control points, however you want to call them, situated throughout the map. So there's plenty of ways you can win. The first of which is to kill the other team, as you'd imagine. And each, not the heroes now, don't worry about the heroes for the time being.
Okay.
Each of the two gang members has a set number of reinforcements, quote unquote. We're just talking like in Gears and
Last of Us recently.
and the Last
respawns.
of Us recent
You have a certain amount
respawns.
of
So
respawns,
rather
yeah.
than just how it used to be, where you just keep respawning forever, you have like, let's say, 20 complete respawns for your 3 members.
Yeah.
But I do like the way they do it because you always respawn as a different gang member. So that's always cool. So it's like you've got reinforcements that are running in. I mean, it's pointless, but it's nice. And so you can either do it by wiping out the other team's reinforcements or by holding these control points, because obviously the more control points you hold, the quicker the other people's reinforcements will drop.
Oh, okay,
so
right.
the reason that's good is because otherwise it would just fall into this
A team
melee
deathmatch,
of
pretty much, yeah.
of kind of shooting around. Then Batman and Robin may be not as effective as they could have been. But as there's multiple ways to do it, it means you can never just focus on one thing. So this is awesome kind of toing and froing and jumping back and forth to make sure you're connecting all the dots, for lack of a better term.
How does it play as a gang member? Is it like third person Gears of War style?
I'll get to that in one sec. But yes, that is how it does. It is a third-person shooter. 2 things we should mention. One is made by Splash Damage, in case you've missed
surprise.
that. So it's being
Bring
developed
guys.
independently. Basically described to me so that, Warner Brothers Montreal can just focus on the single player. Which, to be honest, I agree with.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to hear that.
Because, to try and replicate what Rocksteady have done is hard enough without saying, right, and
Yeah,
now
and
make
we'll
a
add
brand
some
new
of-
mode
yeah.
that no one has any idea what it's going to be. The other thing is that Batman and Robin, as you're probably thinking, how do they win? And it sounds a little corny, but it does work. I mean, genuinely does work. They have an intimidation gauge,
Right.
which they have to fill up. And if they fill that up, they win, and the other gangs are so scared, they run off. And you do that by taking the gang members out silently. There's always a gang captain, so if you aim for the gang captain, that will take away... that will increase your gauge a bit more. So if you take out one guy and that increases it 10%, take out a captain, that will do it 15%. So again, you still have a focus, and there's still some kind of teamwork there, because you think, well, you distract him, I can get the captain.
Sure. I was just going to say, I'm kind of impressed that they are keeping that you do. They're making it so you feel like you're Batman or Robin or one of these gang members within the multiplayer as well, instead of just using those as characters to play.
And that's it. And the best thing is to be the heroes. It just is, because that's what the game is based on. It's really, really cool. You have all your gadgets that you've got in the single player. You have your detective mode. You have all those things at your disposal that you can use. And
so they feel like they did in the last two games.
Whereas the gangs, obviously, they've introduced a third-person shooting mechanic, and it is serviceable, I would say, for now.
Right.
It needs a bit of work. But as you would imagine, it needs a bit of work. They're introducing a mechanic that they've never done in these games before.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's just not as fun.
Is it a cover shooter?
Yeah, because
so you have to take cover, or
you don't have to. It's like the way the single player works. Really, Batman can take cover if you want, but it's never forced upon you. There's still ways and means around it. So you can take cover, and I took cover a few times. But
I guess that's when you're fighting other gang members more than
there's only 5 people you're fighting against. You don't really need to rely on it too much.
Right.
But it's just this is the biggest problem, is that when you're not Batman, screw Robin. I never want to be Robin. But if you're not Batman, it's just not as fun. Because of course it's not fun, because you're Batman. And what's better than being Batman? In real life, I'd rather be Batman than me, and probably most people on the planet.
But Robin,
I wouldn't
like
like to be Batman.
You wouldn't like to be Batman.
You need to.
He's got mental illness. He's not happy, is he?
We've all got mental illness.
Yeah.
He's a man that dresses up as a bat, then starts boo-hooing about his dead parents all the time.
Yeah,
but
then,
but
he's also
it.
really rich and gets to walk around in a cape without people laughing at him. That's the dream, isn't it?
Does Batman and Robin have a respawn limit?
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, because they can obviously, because their gauge when they die, the intimidation gauge goes down. Actually, I've got to talk about this now. It's very complicated when you actually kind of peel away their layers. When you're playing it, it's not that complicated, as weird as that sounds. So if I'm Batman and you're a gang member, Dave, and you kill me, you get one of your reinforcements that you've lost back.
Right.
So if you're down to 17 reinforcements, you'll go up to 18 reinforcements. Whereas if I kill you and you're a captain, my intimidation goes up. But obviously when you kill me, my intimidation goes down as well. So every time you screw up, your intimidation goes down. It's also important to say... Go on.
I was going to say, so can Batman and Robin ever get knocked out of the game?
No.
But one of the teams can be?
Well, no, that's the end of the game. That's game over. If you eradicate someone else's entire team, then the...
So who wins, Batman and Robin or the other team?
Joker. No, because Batman and Robin's goal is to scare everybody off through intimidation
before
and fear.
the fight finishes.
Before the fight finishes. Because then they're like,
okay.
oh no, we're getting this gang war, but Batman's here and he's terrifying and he's with some annoying kid, but don't worry about him, Batman! So Batman and Robin can only win if they intimidate everybody away.
Yep.
Whereas if the Baker gang, if the Bane gang eliminate the Joker gang, then they win, because obviously they've won the turf war then, and everyone's going to come in and. But it's important to say that the gangs also have their own version of detective vision. It's not called that. It's basically like a counterfeit model that they've made, but it works on a battery.
Right.
So right now you think, well, it's not that important. It's the most important part of the entire game. Because Batman and Robin can use the map.
They can go onto the gargoyles and the
so they can grapple up and they can use
the
grates and that kind of stuff. Whereas if you're a gang member, you can't. So in any other map, in any other multiplayer game, you just run around. You don't really think about your environment. And here, you can run over a grate and you're dead. But if you have your detective vision on, you can see that Batman's there, and Batman cannot attack you stealthily. You know, he can't do one of his. There's got a special name in the game.
Takedown.
Oh yeah, but they take them. There's a special name they use. If you know where he is, as you know, because obviously you can still use batarangs or your grapple hook, or you can still use melee attacks, but you cannot use one of those one hit.
Oh, okay.
If you don't balance your detective thing right, you're blind. So you can't just run forward. You have to look up. You have to look down. You have to, and the amount of times I got absolutely screwed because I knew they were there. I'd used up my vision mode. I thought and you feel genuinely on edge. Because I don't know where they are, which is I would say you should feel, because that's how you would feel if Batman was chasing you.
Yeah. I think maybe the biggest problem I have with it, I mean, it sounds quite cool.
Honestly, it's like Spies versus Mercs to Splinter Cell. It's not that polished yet, but it could be.
But that's the thing. The fact that, like you're saying, it's not that polished yet. We don't know that it will be polished by the time it comes out. When it does come out, it's going to be going up against so many other multiplayer games. Mm-hmm. It's coming out at that time of year when they're all about. And the problem it faces is that it won't escape the fact that people will say it feels like a tacked-on element. It feels like a tacked-on multiplayer element. And you asked the guy, I can't remember his name, but it was the creative director at Splash Damage, and he said, we're aware that, stuff like this could be seen as being tacked on, and that's why we're doing it to do it justice. That's essentially what he was saying.
Yeah.
But are people going to realise that, or are they just going to go, Call of Duty's out, rather play that multiplayer?
I'm not sure it's a problem.
Assassin's Creed, that's similar.
But that's the thing. Everyone thought Assassin's Creed multiplayer wouldn't work, and it works pretty well.
And actually, Assassin's Creed.
First time around, it was a little bit rough, though.
Yeah, it was a bit rough. Yes.
I think it's more similar to like with the Tomb Raider game that was sold as a single player game, and yet
the multiplayer was shite.
It's better than that.
It's
genuinely
the same kind of idea though.
If they can put the sort of the cherries on top, whatever you want to call it, before it comes out, I will play this multiplayer mode more than any other multiplayer mode I've played this year. Yeah.
Is that because it's Batman?
Yes, that's a big selling point for me. But it's just really, really fun. And when you're Batman, you're taking these guys out. It feels a bit more satisfying than it does in single play because you know they're actually being controlled by your mates or whatever. And there's just something about that. I'm not saying it's there yet. I'm saying, given that it's a preview and giving the caveats that a preview deserves, it has the potential to be an excellent addition to a game that's already brilliant.
Okay, better example than Tomb Raider. The Last of Us had an interesting multiplayer element that people have enjoyed. It hasn't sold the game for them, and it has been attacked on multiplayer, you can call it, but people have enjoyed it, and you're not buying it because you want the multiplayer. I don't think they're going to try and sell Batman as a multiplayer game.
No, I know, but I think the benefit The Last of Us has is it came out a very dead time of year. And
I see what you mean. People may just ignore it because they want to get onto other games or play the multiplayer games that they're used to, which would be a shame, because I think if a community can develop out of this, and I'm sure I haven't explained it all, I'm sure there's many elements.
But there's going to be players that are going to jump on next gen shortly after that as well. They're probably not going to put too much time into a multiplayer campaign. I mean,
I think the good thing is that, because I like Splash Damage, I thought Brink was actually quite good, if not a bit misguided. But I think the
Enemy Territory was one of the best games ever.
Well, that's the thing, and the positives they have here is because they're using a license that people give a shit about, it won't all of a sudden vanish. That was a problem with Brink. Who cares about Brink? Nobody. It's why I worry about Dirty Bomb as well, which I actually think quite good. There's nothing that. But Batman is Batman.
Well, he took the piss with that whole bloody stuff, the funding stuff.
Yeah.
Piss off with that.
But, I mean, you still got all your other stuff as well, your customization and your upgrades and all that to try and keep you involved. But that's just multiplayer nowadays, isn't it? It's just, you can't get away from it.
It sounds really interesting. I just like the idea that you will feel like you're playing one of the characters when you're playing. I guess the issue I have is how you balance that, because it's new and there are different ways to win the game. But, it sounds more interesting than here's a Batman team deathmatch.
Well, exactly. The theory of it is perfect in terms of what you want to do with the Batman idea. I think that, but there better be more than one mode. This was called Invisible Predator. And I did ask him if there's any more, and he said, we're not talking about that right now. Odd that. Never get that answer. Usually they're so forthcoming. But they need, I'd say you need 3 modes. And each 3 modes should be as interesting as this. It shouldn't just be, there's team deathmatch.
That's why I can see it happening, though.
They'd still get away with it because they still put the time into this one mode.
But that would cheapen it, though, wouldn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Well, if they're going to do that, it should be 2 modes. It should be this mode. Yeah. And the other mode should literally be like, do you remember Gladiators? The game where you just had to get...
Mick and Mac Mighty Gladiators?
No, I mean the actual TV show. Gladiators! Well, you just had to get from point A to point B. What was that called? And they had pugil sticks. Not Duel, the one they had other pugil sticks. They had to try and block you when you went down.
Gauntlet, maybe?
I think it was Gauntlet. It should be like Gauntlet, but obviously sneaky. So let's say it's 8 players or whatever, and there's 7 of you are guards, and one of you's Batman. And all Batman's got to do is get from point A to point B, and it's the same setup. He's got all his stuff, you've got the gang stuff, and all he's got to do is try, because that is Spies versus Mercs. And that'd be so much fun. It'd be a bit like Left 4 Dead as well, which is essentially get to the safe point. Or get to the safe house.
Metal Gear Solid 3 did that, didn't it? The snake.
Exactly.
The snake, and you had to
exfiltrate. I can see them ripping off Spies versus Mercs, though, properly, because that kind of suits itself to it. Batman's sneaking around trying to activate things, and then these guys...
But that is what this is like a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like, they even said some people that worked on Spies versus Mercs are working on this. And you can tell massively. But even if they just did 2 modes, where it's one which is a bit more teamy and one where it's a bit co-op, for lack of a better term, but the majority are a team and one isn't, it'd be so much fun, and it'd be so much infinitely better than you just put it like this. If there's any multiplayer mode that doesn't have Batman in it, because you can't have Batman in team multiplayer, team deathmatch, it shouldn't exist, and I won't play it, and I'll probably chop someone's head off.
Are you still talking about just this Batman game, or just games in general now?
Well,
if Batman's not in it, then I don't care.
This is obviously the very start of this kind of whatever you want to call it, their marketing campaign or whatever. And it's very well done. It's very, very smart, and I am genuinely intrigued about it. Much more than any multiplayer that's coming out this year. that I can think of.
About
It's an odd one,
GTA
though.
Online.
GTA Online.
Well, they haven't told us anything about it yet, so I can't
have
It's got
possibly.
jets in it.
It's not,
I can't compare it to something I know nothing about. It could be amazing.
You know it's got, look...
But for
GTA
everything
Online's
we
got planes on
know,
it.
for everything we know is coming in terms of having proper details I can sit down and digest, this excites me a lot.
Yep. Sounds most interesting to me as well. Definitely.
So yeah, there we go. That's Batman Arkham Origins. I also played Cloudberry Kingdom, and it was really hard.
Yeah,
Just
the
go,
old burns.
just go on YouTube and watch a video if you want.
Yeah,
my
the video
feelings
for
on
that. We usually do like a little camera intro for each of the gameplay verdicts. I just decided to leave the camera on throughout that entire
Yeah, without
video.
telling me as well. You
Well, I mean-
son of a gun.
he did that with me today as well.
Yeah, but that was by
I
accident.
wonder
I
if this
wasn't
is
actually.
like for Chris's secret collection or something. And he does
God.
stay here late sometimes at night and
Oh.
goes, guys, can you maybe just leave me
Yeah,
alone in
just-
the office for
It's
a
like,
bit?
can you give me the key?
I've got the
Because
keys.
I'm going
I've
to
got
be
the
here.
keys.
I'm going to be here for
Give
a
me,
while.
just like, Chris, what are those gloves? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about this
go
Vaseline
on.
either.
Go play Batman or something. It's fine. Just don't worry.
I'll think about you playing Batman, Simon.
Oh, let's move on very quickly. Steve, what have you been playing this week, my friend?
Pez.
Pez. Oh, of course. You've just had your preview up for.
Pez 2014.
Yeah, we had a game
Just
actually.
in case you thought he was playing PES 4.
Yeah, well, that is actually what Steve would usually
Oh, yeah,
say
it's true,
in a
actually.
weekend
Actually,
other than this.
I played Pez 4 not 2 weeks ago, so...
Not 2 weeks ago.
Not
Yeah.
2
So
weeks
when
ago
was it?
from this very date.
It's a joke. Keep
Yeah.
talking
They
about
got-
PES 2.
but
That's
PES
It's a bad
2014.
run. I strike that from the record, please. It's interesting. It's had the office in arguments. I know that some people hate it.
I hate it.
Miller hates it.
I think the passing in it from when we played was awesome. Still don't think it's got anything on FIFA at the moment.
The passing is awesome.
Yeah.
Why? Why's the passing awesome?
It just feels real.
Because it doesn't...
A lot. It doesn't. You don't. It's not like sticking to your feet like it does in
Yeah,
FIFA.
it doesn't snap. FIFA is so unbelievably prescribed. This is the problem, is that every game of FIFA feels the same. Oh, I finessed it into the top or bottom corner. Oh, I've hit the bar in the last second. All that sort of shit. Whereas PES does a better job at hiding its scripting. The problem is that PES is new it's got the Fox engine powering it now.
Yeah, that's
And
Lucky,
so some of the play models look incredible, and some of the animation is amazing. But now it's getting too bogged down in the thing that FIFA always had, where FIFA's players are slaves to animations, so you can't get in and out of animation transitions quick enough. And people always moaned about PES that, oh, the animations are clipped and it looks a bit robotic. Well, the reason for that is so you don't scream while you're pressing up and your player dilly-dallying, so you clip in and out, blah, blah, blah. Well, the new engine is unfortunately a bit more like that. Now, there are times in the midfield where you can play 1 and 2 touch passes and it looks amazing.
Oh, it
and as the
absolutely does.
passing's so good, and the animation is amazing as well. But it's just getting too bogged down in this kind of... And you feel like you're fighting it. That's the problem, is you never used to feel in PES like you were fighting against the game. In FIFA, I always felt like I was turning a boat. And
What?
now I feel the same in PES.
I haven't played it yet. I did watch you play a little bit the other day. What I don't understand about PES this year, you know what I'm going to say probably, is new engine, right at the end of the console generation. And Konami said, the reason that PES isn't on next gen this year is because, we'd have to do it a proper good job. We'd have to make a lovely new engine for it to be on next gen. We'd have
probably
to do
not
a
a
really...
direct quote.
Not a direct quote. It's basically what they said.
Proper good.
Yeah. They have to do something special for
Do you
it
mean
to
they
launch
already
on next
have a
gen.
new engine? So
And it's
therefore,
like, hang on a minute, you just invested in a new engine that you're bringing on a current gen platform.
It's
Like, I
next
don't
gen ready
understand.
as well, isn't it? That's the whole
Yeah,
point
that's
of
the whole
it, yeah.
point.
The problem, I think, is that when this console generation came around, so the one we're in now, is that Konami got really caught out. And
They did, but PES 6 is still one of the best football games ever made.
That's true, but they could only
Is that the
get...
one with that Adriana on the front?
Yeah, you
That
can
was
score
good.
from anywhere, including that cover. But the... including the main fucking menu. But the problem is Konami don't have the resources to do as much as EA.
I don't know how Konami is still going.
Well, pretty much. And when the historical precedent is that when PES 6 came out, it came on PS2 on Xbox 360. There wasn't a PS3 version until PES 2007. And I think that they don't want to get caught out doing that again and splitting their team that's worked. So the engine can easily be ported, I presume, to next gen, but they just don't have the manpower for it. So instead of splitting the difference essentially and going, so you can have this version or this version,
Yeah, they just decided
they just
to go
go,
with
look, one more version here, then once a year's gone by, we can get on that. And it's not ideal, but then Konami...
It just feels like they're trailing, though.
It does.
It's like,
well,
FIFA's going to be here. It's going to set up that user base on next gen.
but they're not competing against FIFA anymore. This is it. FIFA's competing against COD. Every time I go to EA's offices now, they show like graphs about how much FIFA has grown year on year, percentage-wise, sales and whatever.
But doesn't that mean that FIFA's not competing with PES, but PES is competing with FIFA?
No.
Because they want to get their market share back.
No, I think PES knows.
It's given up on it.
As if PES is a pretty cool guy and PES is a person on its own.
I think the pure football.
Shut up. I think Konami know. They know they can't compete, so they just got to put out the best football game they can. And also...
But that won't be good enough in the long run. That'll kill them.
Well, they seem to be doing all right. And in other territories, PES does...
That's true.
PES does do better than FIFA. In Latin America...
Yeah, I didn't know this.
Japan,
Yeah, you said the other day.
I think in the United States as well.
Does it?
Yeah, I think
don't know
so.
about that. Really?
So, yeah, it does better in a lot of territories. And I just think that FIFA's stagnating badly. And this, at least, for all the problems this PES has, at least it's trying something, you know.
It's really boring and slow, though.
But hold on, but you can change the speed up into literally twice the speed of the...
No, but I don't mean slow. I just mean the way, like you say, the animations. I always feel like I'm fighting with it.
Oh, yeah, no.
And that's why I don't like...
But
then again, it feels quick.
It didn't feel exactly like that. And then again, this is the whole FIFA thing we talked about between builds where they tweak stuff. When I played it at PES 2014, this is at E3, it didn't feel like it does now.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I've spent a lot more time on this one, so maybe I'm just seeing more things. But at the same time, it would not surprise me to then play PES 2014 at review or a second set of review code and it be a lot faster. So I think this is a staging ground, this one, for the next generation version. They'll go, right, so we try to make these changes. We've got a new engine. Yeah, there will be problems. I think they pretty much admitted that. Next gen, we'll see how it goes.
How close is the release date compared to FIFA? We haven't got exact dates yet, have we? But
so FIFA is September 27th.
Right.
And PES generally goes after it. In America, it's the same day.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That sounds crazy.
I think they'll be fucking mad
to do the same thing.
If they go day and day. But
I think they beat FIFA over here last year. I think they were out a week or two before.
Probably
didn't make much odds. Didn't make much difference by the end of it. But yeah, in America this year, I think it's the same day.
Yeah, which is interesting. And what I was saying about America and Latin America before, Latin America, is that they're more confident, I think. And across Europe, and I'm sure there are other territories in, say, like EFIG, so, you know, like French, Italy, Germany, Spain, all that sort of thing, where they do better. But at the same time, it's hard. It's hard for PES. They used to be the boy. And but the problem is that FIFA was shit before on PlayStation 2. It was fucking rubbish.
Told you this story before, didn't I? About when Jack Ryder, is that his real name or is that his stage name?
Jack Ryder.
Jack Ryder from EastEnders. Yeah. I asked him whether he wanted to pre-order. It must have been FIFA.
Oh,
FIFA 04, FIFA 05.
While you were at Game, right?
I used to work at Game.
You were here.
Didn't realise who it was. I went up to him and said, would you like to pre-order FIFA? Because he was watching it on the screens on the top. He's like, fuck off, mate.
Did you say fuck off?
Yeah, tell me fuck off.
Really?
I was like, right,
but I'm part of the problem with football games. I used to play FIFA even when it was bad. And I knew it was bad. I kept playing it. It wasn't even brand loyalty. I just bought FIFA. I don't know why.
But a friend of mine, he absolutely loves FIFA. And I've played current-gen FIFA, next-gen FIFA, and PES. And not look at me, but I just have. He's not played any. He's like, fuck PES. I'm playing FIFA. I'm like, but I'm telling you that there are merits to both. And he's like, are you joking? And then some dickhead always goes, yeah, but what about the kits? And you're like, look, if you can't live...
the old argument,
if you can't live without the kits, like, for all those years that PES was superior, PES 6 is so good, it's got no kits. I'm surprised they have shirts.
People have been saying that for so long.
It's like, yeah, but I need the authenticity.
What about the kits, though?
Authenticity of what? The authenticity of taking fucking Leicester City to the fucking Champions League final? What a load of bollocks.
Don't insult Leicester City. They could get there.
Sorry, Leicester City fans.
Peter Schmeichel in goal. Kasper Schmeichel in goal.
Oh, man.
Dead. Imagine it. So, interesting game. We'll see how it turns out. Still not better than PES 6. Sorry, Konami. I'm dead now. Goodbye.
Fair enough. Dave, what about yourself, man? Any interesting video games?
I've been playing Narco Terror, Chris.
We've just been playing that together.
It took me 8 times of Dave telling me earlier what he was playing to understand what it was. I still don't know. What is Narco Terror?
Narco Terror is the best fun you can have with drugs for £8.
Okay, I need more than that.
Okay, that's a lie.
Because that sounds like you bought some experimental drug.
No, yeah, that would have been the better
Narco
use of £8.
Terror is a twin-stick shooter.
On what?
On XBLA and PSN.
Yeah.
Right.
And you play, bear with me, you play as a narcotics officer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, now I get it. Okay.
Sent to Southern America to literally blow the shit out of a drugs cartel
That's what drug officers do, Dave.
While rescuing your daughter.
That sounds amazing.
This is what I've been telling Chris, and he's like, looks a bit generic. It looks a bit like the Expendables 2 video game.
With the Expendables 2,
it's not for me, but I can understand the appeal.
A hell of a lot more personality than that.
Right, Chris, you now have to talk like that forever. That's a new law.
Apparently, I already do.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But it was all right. But there's nothing that sets that apart from any other twin stick shooter.
So here you
ever.
go. You pick up a laser rifle, and you blow the shit out of blow up things. Done.
Is that out now?
8 out of 10.
Yeah, it was. I think it was yesterday actually. Yesterday on both.
No, it's really good. It's really good. But I like that sort of stuff, like the Assault Heroes and Renegade Ops that Avalanche did. I like that kind of thing. It's just a pretty decent. There's nothing special about it. It is just a twin stick shooter where there's lots of explosions.
Is it top down?
It's top down.
Kind of.
Yeah, it kind of changes the
view.
Did
you see the
it pulls the camera back.
Too,
but that was a really bad video game.
Well, I think was that the controls that were the problem with that. I never played it.
It's just the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, it's
but it was top down-ish and
it's that kind of viewpoint,
ish.
but the camera's better.
Right, okay.
Really enjoying it, but it mixes up sometimes. There's a bit where you jump into a plane and it basically turns into a bullet hell type shmup where you, like an old kind of, what do they call it? Was it 1940?
Yeah, the old Capcom game.
Yeah, there's something a bit like that. And then it will change the mechanics slightly. So,
but it does it so boringly. It's like it's.
I don't understand how you can call this game boring.
Because it is.
There's about 100 explosions on the screen every 5 seconds.
But sometimes you need more than that. You do.
It's interesting though that the disagreement between you, because I always think in video games that there's so much comparative analysis in video games. Like you'll say I really like Narco Terror, and someone will go, oh well, there are loads.
Chris,
of
your
games
voices are amazing.
I know, you keep changing, don't they?
Yourself, like,
he says
in
this.
video games, you want stuff to. Everyone's like, this has got to be the best game ever.
Last week, he was arguing with me that War Thunder is the most exciting games ever played.
That's
about a month ago.
Definitely not.
Also,
what I said.
you play games about giant fucking bunny rabbits with
That's
swords.
not right.
Overgrowth
people.
is awesome.
Let's not get into this game. It's good that people have difference of opinions.
Thanks, Dad.
No,
Cheers.
but anyway, to continue what I was saying, no one goes into the cinema to see, I don't know, X-Men Wolverine the Wolverine and goes, this is going to be the best movie ever. If they do, they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then you find out they took away his powers and gave him a samurai sword, and you leave the theatre.
Immediately.
So, but video
No,
games,
thank
it's like,
you.
it's got to be the best game ever, or I'm done. And also, just sorry to come back to that, did they get rid of his powers?
You don't know that. That's how it starts. He gets rid of the powers and give him a samurai sword.
All I know is that I've seen pictures of Hugh Jackman, and he's obviously been skipping leg day.
He has been skipping leg day. And friends, don't let friends skip leg day.
Yeah.
Fact.
You said that to me last night.
Exactly, yeah. It's true. Jackman. He is listening, obviously.
Fake Australian.
My point is this.
He's certainly not.
I can see where you're both coming from. Chris definitely does like the more kind of wacky
No,
side of
I
games.
like twin stick shooters. I just think there's
Chris,
much
would you
better
describe
ones.
yourself as kooky?
Kooky. Oh, that's what you have to win, you. Damn it.
But
I've been had.
I actually like the sound of this. I think the concept is so stupid, and it's probably simple and easy to play that I'd
course
probably
it
get
is.
something out of it.
He said to me, am I going to struggle with this coming in halfway through? I'm like,
No,
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So, what are the controls, Dave? Like every other twin
Left stick
shooter?
moves, right stick shoots, done.
Oh, that's
all you
new.
need to know.
Maybe
There's nothing wrong with
Is
that.
it better than Mercs on arcade or Mega Drive? Do you play that?
No, I didn't.
Is it better than Total Carnage on SNES?
This is what the podcast has now fallen
Yeah.
into. We
Yeah.
just throw games and
But it
say
is
that
just-
something's better or not.
Although I didn't play those, I have seen clips of them. And yeah, it does seem very similar to that.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it looks like a lot of fun.
It's an old
and
school
there's a lot
shooter.
of room for a lot of fun games that aren't particularly amazing.
I agree.
I just think after like the Steam sales just happened, £8 isn't much, but there's so many games that I could get instead.
Well, value propositions is completely
Yeah.
well, not a completely different argument, but it's really interesting.
Well, I've always got that in the back of my mind though when I
Yeah.
play a game like that. I just can't help but think,
Play the trial.
is that the...
Just play it over and over. Do you remember when you were a kid, you had demos? This is the happiest person in the
Yeah.
world. Resident Evil 2 demo, time, 10 minutes, I think it was.
You know when
Played
you
shit out of that.
when you reviewed Army of Two not too long ago.
Greatest game. Still the best game of the year.
You gave it a 5 out of 10. Anyway,
It's
my point.
my personal favourite. It's not better than 5 out of 10, but I still think it's brilliant.
But I would probably imagine my thoughts on this game are similar to what your
Yeah,
thoughts on
I
Army
think
of 2
so,
are.
actually. Yeah.
No, I like to wind people up with Army of 2, but I had a good time playing that
So that's
bloody
what I have been
game.
playing.
Chris,
I was going to mention Overgrowth, but...
Oh no,
you've
Overgrowth
already-
looks good.
You've already made
Looks
What
like
is
Bucky
Overgrowth?
O'Hare.
So you play...
Just Jack Rabbit.
Badger,
Jumping Flash.
No, that was Shelter.
Mongoose,
We've done Badgers already.
Parakeet,
No, you play Bunny Rabbits.
Macaroon.
Play Bunny Rabbits. That kind of...
Indie gamer.
Yeah, but it's been in
And I
development.
hate indie games.
Was that your voice or my voice?
That
No.
was the YouTube.
Ah, right, yeah. Well, it's kind of it's a sandbox game, but it's just got this really cool engine. The platforming in it feels amazing. The combat is really, really quick and
It's just an open
brutal.
world bunny rabbit game.
You play the anthropomorphic, is that how you say it?
It's jumping
You
flash
sounded
3.
like a producer then. I could just imagine the producers just seeing it and going,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
first things first.
It's that is the hard part to get past, admittedly. Once you get past the fact that you're playing a rabbit that walks around like a human.
Does it have a gun?
No, but you can give him a sword or a spear.
Jack Rabbit is one of my favourite games ever, so I've got no problem with
Okay,
the bunny
well, good.
rabbit being a protagonist.
But it's just a very, very well thought out sandbox game, and they've been working on it for so long. You can tell it's like there's so much kind of passion involved
what
in
does
it.
the bunny rabbit do?
Well, it's up to you. You can basically you can press escape anytime during the
Sorry,
the
Burns
game.
is leaving the building.
Burns
Is
just
that
walked
enough?
out the
I
room.
Is that enough
Don't
for
know what that
rabbits?
I
means.
bet we hear an explosion in a minute, and that's
He
it.
has
We're
been
all
drinking
dead.
a lot of water during this.
He's just destroyed my PC, hasn't he? After
Probably, yeah.
It's like it's got a built-in level editor, so you can kind of create your own objectives in it at the moment.
If I sit down with it when we finish this podcast, what will I be doing as this rabbit?
Probably just jumping around stuff and
What's my
fighting
objective,
other
though?
rabbits.
I must
You
have an
create your own objectives. It's very early in its alpha at the moment.
Right, okay,
It's
right,
not
right.
going to be released. Well, they've been working on it
What
for
are
5
you
years.
talking about? It's very early. I was getting emails about this game in about 2007. It's very early in its alpha.
But you know,
Fucking hell.
it's very early and it's in alpha. That maybe makes more sense. It's been in
very
development
early.
for a long
Open world
time.
bunny game. It's taken a long time to develop.
I was legitimately, seriously, I was getting emails
They've done
from this
200
today and
updates on the alpha alone. It's incredible the amount of
How big is the open
Why?
world?
as big as you want it to be. You can create your own.
Have they changed it? Are they trying to go for a Minecraft type thing
No.
now?
No, it's very much the game it was a year ago. I don't know about 5 years ago, but the changes are very small and they're the tiniest little details that no one would care about except for the person who's making it.
Go on.
Like when you walk closer to someone and you're both holding swords, like the animation changes.
Wait, the
and-
bunny can hold a sword?
Yeah, you fight each other. Oh, it's quite bloody. Like the combat's really brutal.
This is not what I envisioned at all.
And-
when you said fight, I thought you meant just like scuffling.
Scuffling bunny rabbits.
Yeah.
God damn it! Is this the game? These are not the
So they've
games
got
I play. I
swords?
promise. You can give them swords. Yeah, give them.
Do you see what I mean, though?
That's amazing.
He criticises a game which, like, fucking 80s action cliched to the max.
Yeah.
And then here we are,
But,
a fucking
of course-
bunny rabbit that jumps up a
there
hill
you
and he's
go.
like shitting himself in
But
excitement.
that surely makes more sense because if he's into that, he's
But-
probably not going to be into.
But no, it's you've got to have a bit of imagination with this because it's not a set campaign
bit of a
that you've got
dig.
to play. Well, you just
Let the
you
man
deserve
talk.
that. You
Let the
deserve
man
that.
talk.
It's at the moment. I don't know what the final product will look like, but at the moment, it's a game in which you create your own games within it, and it will rely on having a massive community to support that, which
Disney
it does
Infinite
have
will
at
be
the
better.
moment.
What?
I don't even
Disney
know
Infinite will be
how
better.
you could link those two games.
Toy box.
One is a
about
game
creating-
designed to rip off children. The other one is a
No.
passion project of bunny rabbits.
Toy
and
box is all about-
That's a huge allegation to
You know-
to lever them.
Well, I've made it, I'm afraid.
Not just,
Too late.
not just
Let's
children.
not
that'll be,
fight kids.
Okay, well, there's going to be some kind of video showing off what the alpha's about at some
Of
point
course
this week.
there will.
I will watch this video.
And-
To be honest, I'm very intrigued.
It's
As soon as you
difficult-
mentioned bunny rabbits with samurai swords, see how
Yeah.
I threw in samurai there?
Yeah.
Not once mentioned that. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, you can. It's one of those games that you do have to see and kind of get a bit of explanation about until you can click with it. Admittedly, when I first started playing it, I was kind of overwhelmed by the level editor and stuff. So I think a video it will suit quite well, and maybe I can change your
honest,
minds. Doubt I'll change Dave's.
I'm excited to play all the games that have been mentioned on this week's Video Gamers podcast. Every single one that's been mentioned.
Good job,
I
guys.
quite like. So there
Lovely.
you go. I will be the everyman.
Would you like some news?
The news canon.
Yes, before we get there, can I say one thing?
Of course.
Nobody in their right mind should download and play Prince of Persia: The Shadow and the Flame.
Is that the mobile game?
I wish we could
Don't
say
do
what
it.
we probably
No,
shouldn't
we
say.
can't say that.
It's
That would be
ultra
amazing.
shit.
No, we definitely can't say
Ultra
that.
shit.
It's just it's just really, really bad. Don't download it. News.
News.
We're going to talk about something we always talk about, but again, we got reason to talk about it now, don't
Huh?
we?
What?
So,
What do you mean?
Phil
Have we?
Fish. Oh, the
Oh,
Wii U.
Wii U.
which one are we talking about?
News this week. I'm the only person in the world that's ever bought a Wii U ever,
Yeah.
and I feel like a total dick.
No. Right. What are the exact figures?
Let me grab them. Hang on.
Dead air.
They're not
That's
great.
Brilliant radio.
They're not great. Simon, I'll tell you that.
That's the cinema, isn't it? I was doing the 10 o'clock news, but it came out as the Odin music.
He's
Right.
rustling his papers over there.
Bong.
Nintendo only managed to sell 160,000 Wii U consoles in the quarter ended June 30th. The platform
Globally?
announced. Globally. 160,000.
So they hold 106 between when?
Between April 1st and June 30th.
So 180,000.
160,000
worldwide.
Worldwide. 90,000 in Japan. Now, presumably because of Monster Hunter.
A couple of things here.
Pikmin helped as well.
But it wasn't in that quarter.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, because that did cause a spike in Japan. But let's face it, that's not going to really
it wasn't massive.
But did you have the 3DS figures? Doesn't matter if you don't, because basically 3DS kicked ass again. So we can't forget that, because I think you do have to balance the two against each other. Nintendo as a company...
I do, yes.
Go on.
1.4 million globally.
There you go. You see? So it's not exactly all doom and gloom for Nintendo.
So it sold 10 times the amount as Wii U.
That is mental.
But look, here's the thing.
It is doom and gloom. It sold 10,000 across Europe and everywhere that's not Japan and North
Some
America.
of those would have been by mistake.
10,000.
Clearly, like redundancy.
Only 10,000 of those. Only 10,000 of those were from Europe. Out of the whole figure. That's mental.
150,000 were Japan and America.
Oh, God.
So 10,000 everywhere else in the world.
Europe.
But what's come out to change? It was never going to spike, was it? What's come out to... But also, let's just caveat here, NB : I am a Nintendo fanboy, but I'm not saying this to be a Nintendo fanboy. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Continue.
I don't know nothing major came out in that quarter, but Lego City and Monster Hunter did come out the week before.
The point is now, as I did with the DS, Wii's a little bit different, and this. I think you said it earlier, Burns. I think this could fall more into GameCube territory than everything else. They've got to speed up everything they've got coming out. So I think actually Matt's on holiday this week, but I think he said it on Twitter as well. Don't do what you always do, Nintendo, and hold off Zelda, for example, till the end of the generation, which they do a lot. So obviously, Twilight Princess became a cross-generation game because they left it so far in GameCube. Skyward Sword came out really late in the Wii. Yeah. Too late, to be honest, in the Wii's life, in the Wii's lifetime. Don't do that now. Mario Kart next summer, I would say, is already a stretch, as we've mentioned on this podcast before. Mario in Christmas time will help massively. But next year, you can get away with waiting until next summer. But you need Zelda. You need Zelda at the end of next year as well. That's what I'm saying. Then if
what have they got? They've got Zelda Wind Waker in October.
I don't think that counts. I know it's a terrible thing, but I don't think it counts.
Donkey Kong does okay. I don't think it did all that well on 3DS though. I don't think it did the numbers they wanted.
Also, I think the reason is because it was second... whatever that phrase is, second something syndrome. The problem with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is it looks too similar to the one they've just seen. So that it's back. Well, that's true. It's back. That kind of initial buzz has gone. So I don't think that will do as well. So basically, they need to now start bookending everything. So Pikmin is a great start. Mario at the end of the year is a great start. Mario Kart next year, while a little late, is fine. Zelda, they need to get involved in there.
I think they're too far gone.
I don't think I never count
they can pull it back. They didn't pull GameCube back.
Yeah, but GameCube is awesome. Don't forget that. We all love the GameCube. Right now, journalists don't like Wii U.
I think Wii U is an okay platform.
I think most journalists agree it's a good console.
No, I think they do. I think they think it has potential, but they don't think it has the library of games it needs. Whereas everybody that had a GameCube went, so many good games. Everybody said that. And the Wii U doesn't have that now. And to be honest, I genuinely think after the success of the Wii and not having that, I think in a way Nintendo would take decent sales, and these are not decent sales, so I'm still saying it needs to bump, and critical acclaim. I think they'd take that because they've got so much money in the bank. They could sell 0 more units of the Wii U and they'll still be fine.
They turn a profit, don't they? This is the thing. They turn a profit. The problem is that.
But that's the other thing. They won't be losing money because every Wii U makes money. So
I think the problem that I would say is this. To reiterate what you said earlier on today, Miller, is that Nintendo will be fine. Nintendo will be fine with 5 Wii U's on the market. 5 machines like a Wii U failing essentially, but the Wii U won't. And we're now into a big perception game territory where if these numbers had been posted and there wasn't a next generation coming, see how Christmas does.
Yeah, it's true.
But now again, as you said, just like 3DS is doing well. That's brilliant. 3DS great machine. Wii U also. I like the Wii U, but at the same time, never ever tempted to buy one.
The thing about 3DS as well, though, is that obviously there's the iPhone market, and I guess it's quite difficult to compare it. But it's only in that space. It's up against mobile and Vita, and Vita is more expensive, and there's even less games on the Vita than there is on.
And no one does
3DS.
Handheld. Not necessarily as well, but as consistently well as Nintendo.
No one does it as well as I'd go all out. And say
I believe that, but sometimes I say that and people don't agree, so I don't want to talk.
I would say no one understands it as well as Nintendo.
And if you're buying a handheld for your kid, you're going to buy them a 3DS, aren't you? Just to feel a bit more durable.
The thing I think, the biggest worry, I mean, if you haven't got Wii U, this is the greatest news you've ever heard. Because if you don't want one, but you're tempted, you probably buy one soon for about £80. So that's pretty good. If you do have one, though, that's where the real worry lies, because I think some people will get worried that Nintendo will give up. just think, we failed with
know
this.
if they will.
No, I don't think they will. I think they're in for the long haul. They've got plans. I think the Wii U is not going anywhere. I think they haven't released their first-party titles properly on it, so they'll push that.
And the third parties have disappeared.
But they never worried. Nintendo have never worried about third parties. I mean,
Wii was all about third parties.
But the Nintendo didn't care about that, though. That was just, they were luck. They were that 2K mini game was luck. Not luck, but do you know what I mean? No one thought, this is going to sell millions of copies. Like, Nintendo didn't put any money into
True,
that.
but it did, and that's what it made it become the market leader, essentially, is that it managed to penetrate that market that it wouldn't have done without those third parties. It had the Wii Sports crew. But
that's the thing. I don't think anybody bought a Wii for the 2K game. I think they already had Wii U's and they bought it because it sounded a bit like Wii Sports. That's what I think happened with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no, yeah, totally. But we would.
They already had the console. That's
but
what I mean.
we would never have been able to sustain itself
Without
for that long
parties.
without the third parties.
And the Wii was
which
a
it
better
doesn't
console
have.
by having them.
I totally agree with that. But what was before the Wii?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What came before the Wii in terms of Nintendo's console?
GameCube.
Now, GameCube did not sell anywhere near as much as the Wii sold.
Yeah.
That's why we're in a different world now. Nintendo's Wii Cash.
But I remember
Cash.
But it means they can screw this up and they can still find a way to come out the other side. I do not think this is the end of Nintendo in the hardware space, as some people have said.
I can remember having these exact same conversations when GameCube was here, a year down the line. When GameCube was here, everyone was saying, it's game over for Nintendo. They're going to get out of the hardware business.
Game over for Nintendo.
Yeah, but No, but how many times can they afford to do this? Like
a lot at the moment.
they can afford it, but their shareholders must be going,
I know what you mean.
You've got to buck up your ideas a little bit.
Here's my thing. I still think they haven't released their big guns yet. I don't know how powerful they are anymore. Because, Mario Galaxy 2 sold, 6 million copies? Which is not like a... It's probably more than actually. I take that back. It's probably more than that. I take that back. But I don't think it sold gangbusters compared to, like, you say, Call of Duty or something like that. But I still think Nintendo...
They did it all the wrong way around. They should have had 3D World at launch. Then it would have got the hardcore on board. They should have had the 2D Mario, New Super Mario Brothers this Christmas. And then people would have gone... the mainstream, the casuals would have gone, new and 2D Mario, we love those, we'll buy it.
More mini game stuff as well, I think.
The strategy, they've fucked it up completely.
Funny things with the gamepad. I think I really, really enjoyed, I've only started recently using it with Pikmin, and I know I saw you playing Zombie U recently, and it's a pleasure to play. I just don't have many reasons to go there.
Zombie is the best game on that platform.
Do you see the story this morning that Nintendo are now... By the end of this year, they're going to allow you to digitally buy games from your PC or mobile device and download them on your console. Or we don't even know how that'll work exactly.
Thanks, Nintendo.
I can't.
Can't you do that on Xbox already?
Yeah,
you can do. Yeah, of course you can. You've been able to do it for since.
The thing is, though, so they always tie purchases to the hardware, not to an account. So I don't know how that's going to work.
It's just so weird. It just feels so disconnected to.
Does that mean they're revamping the account system?
Why are we surprised by this? Nintendo still don't understand online. They're still like, what's online?
They're going to need to start understanding.
Yeah. That was going to be
this is the problem.
Do you see the reason for not putting a story mode in Super Smash Brothers?
I know, because people put cutscenes on YouTube.
Are you fucking joking?
That's why there isn't a story mode in the new Smash Brothers, because people put the cutscenes on live.
Because they love Smash Brothers. Jesus, how do you not understand that?
Unbelievable.
We all sit here, not me for the record, in a year's time when Nintendo are dancing in more Scrooge McDuck cash, I want everyone to remember that Simon Miller, Nintendo fanboy, said Nintendo will sort this out. Never bet against Nintendo.
But the problem is, I feel, is that...
Yeah.
So you say GameCube, right? Now, I had a GameCube. I played 4 games on it. They were all Resident Evil tiles.
No, come on.
Seriously.
Resident Evil Remake was really good.
Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4, and also Resident Evil 2.
I'm going to say something now, and I will now dominate the YouTube comments with this comment.
Uh-oh.
But
prepare yourself.
I think Super Mario Sunshine was a really good game.
I think it was good.
I really
I'm with
enjoyed
you.
Super Mario Sunshine.
I've never understood the hate for that game.
It had a lot of problems, but I really loved it.
It's really good.
I really loved it.
But with GameCube, everyone's like, the GameCube had a great game, blah, blah, blah. But the GameCube, it wasn't like, and here comes the next generation a year in.
You did just list 4 third-party games as well. Let's not.
I'm not saying I didn't like the GameCube. I love my GameCube because it had Resident Evil 4 on it, and so instantly the best thing ever. But I don't know. It feels a bit... Do you know what it feels a bit like? It's not really the same. It feels a bit like Saturn. It feels like in a year's time, Nintendo could go... Actually, fuck this Wii U malarkey. Yeah, let's get a new console.
Nintendo will be all right, but will the Wii U?
But maybe that was
the library that we wanted.
That's why they called it Wii U.
Maybe this was a stopgap.
Yeah.
The old switcheroo.
Maybe
is Wii U 2.
Either way, let's just draw a line under it. We all agree. Obviously, there's no argument. They're not very good sales, and we can't imagine anyone Nintendo will be very happy. Bad sales. So yeah,
that hurt you to say, didn't it? That hurt you.
Not at all. I like Nintendo, but I don't. I care how they do in the sense I don't want anyone to lose their job, and I would never wish negativity on anybody, but I don't really care how they sell. I don't care really how anyone sells. It doesn't affect me massively. Like
I don't.
Do you know what I mean?
Everyone can fuck off and die.
No. Do you know what I mean? Even though I love Nintendo, it's like this doesn't bother me that the console only sold 106. All right, I'll go and have some food.
I'd like to see.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
As long as it doesn't affect,
it doesn't impact your life.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm not that much of a fanboy.
And just get a new Wii out or new Nintendo console.
That's fine.
GameCube 2. SNES 2.
No, but the Wii U is a good console in itself. I know
it is, but if
from a selfish point of view, I want it to do well so I can buy one and play it.
I want it to do well so everyone makes great games for it. But if it doesn't do well, then okay, that's sad. Let's think again. Let me see. Good luck with whatever you do next.
Let's go get some food.
Well, yeah, exactly. Some people are acting like this is the apocalypse. It's not. When the apocalypse is coming,
the end times.
Zombies.
It's not Sega and Dreamcast.
No, it's definitely not that.
I am surprised that Activision is still supporting it, and to the extent they are. They announced recently that Ghosts is coming to Wii U, which is something that's been up in the air for ever.
That must cost them, what, 20 quid to port that across?
Well,
they'll get some sales.
I have a theory about this, and I have nothing. I've not heard anything. I don't have anything. It's pure speculation.
Scum or scoop.
But I wonder...
Sorry.
Quite good, Chris. I wonder whether the reason that they didn't announce it for so long is Treyarch's developing it, so it's another studio on board doing it.
Wee.
I don't know what
that was the track noise. You don't know about that? Keep talking.
Do you think Nintendo could be funding the development of the Wii U version of Ghosts?
Yes, probably. Why not? They're doing it with Sonic, so
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Are they so desperate for third-party support
Why not?
that the reason this has taken so long to announce is because they've just agreed terms to get the game actually made on Wii U? And
well, Dave Campbell, why don't we put that in our little homework drawer and see what we can do?
Yeah, and also
it's like
ordering a pizza, isn't it?
Yours is terrible.
You really want a pizza? Instead of making it yourself, you got to pay for someone to fucking go and do that for you. Pow.
I don't know what that analogy means.
I only hear the second part of it, but yeah.
So Treyarch are the new Papa John's, is what you're telling me.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that what we
or
do?
Domino's, or Pizza Hut, or Marks and Spencer's, or Sainsbury's. We support all pizzas here on the VideoGamer.com podcast.
Do you want more news?
Sure, why not?
This is breaking news, right?
This is breaking news. It's so breaking, in fact, that it's probably not actually going to be news that's on the website by the time you listen to this podcast.
I know it will be. It'll be there by then.
If it isn't, this is a nice little preview for you. Well done. You're part of an exclusive club.
News preview.
So I've been doing some digging into online passes because
check the feature on the website.
Yeah,
promotion.
It should be there by now. Should be. Because obviously EA Sports and EA followed soon after. They dropped the requirement for online passes.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 2 months ago now they announced that. And at the time, we all speculated
that something bad was coming.
Something bad was
not
coming.
bad, just something to replace it. And it did. Xbox One came up.
It did. Yeah. And since then, they've all gone back on their policies. And so we're thinking, so what's happening there? Did that screw over EA? Because that's what people are thinking.
Yeah.
Has Microsoft's reversal, ruined EA's plans, essentially?
Publishers, sure.
Anyway, I've been doing some digging into this. I've done a nice little feature on it. But part of it is I've been speaking to other publishers as well about how they are reacting to this and whether they are also going to have online passes in the future or not. And I spoke to Ubisoft last week, and it's not entirely clear from them whether they will or will not be carrying on doing their Uplay passport. 'Cause for a long time now, I think they introduced it with Driver San Francisco.
They did.
They need a Uplay passport to access the multiplayer. They said, we don't have anything new to share right now, but rest assured, we'll continue to focus on providing the best experience for our customers, no matter how or where they buy our games. So they're not saying we'll continue to offer,
but I think
continue to require Uplay Pass, but they're kind of covering all bases a little bit. They're not committing to anything.
They'll get rid of it, I think.
On the other hand, Codemasters said something different.
What did they say, Dave?
They said, as part of our review of systems, we will not be implementing a VIP pass system in F1 2013 when it releases this October. So they're dropping VIP pass. They're dropping the need for online passes.
Haven't played it safe.
Players of both F1 2013 and F1 2013 Classic Edition will not be required to activate multiplayer functionality via the VIP passcode, and there are no plans to replace the pass with an alternative or paid-for activation system in the game. So everyone is pulling away from online passes. I've written a feature about this where I suggest maybe it has to do because the market is shifting towards a multiplayer-focused...
Yeah, like Titanfall, Battlefield, everything.
Yeah, not necessarily multiplayer-focused, but there's much more an emphasis on multiplayer and much more monetization in that market.
I did, because if you go back a few years, if you had a Battlefield demo, maybe Battlefield less so, but if you had a first-person shooter demo, they wouldn't have showed up multiplayer then. and now everyone does it at the same time.
But that's the thing.
Play is multiplayer.
Yeah.
That's
You
what
look at
people push.
you look at the sales of Battlefield 3 Premium, which are 4 million. Now.
I can't believe how well that's done.
But
Well,
if you bought that game second hand, there's another pay barrier to get behind to get over before you can actually even purchase the thing that EA wants you to purchase. So it's no real surprise, really. It's kind of an obvious thing to do. Drop that paywall, and then you're opening that market up instantly to a whole bunch of new people. So yeah.
So there you go. Online passes.
Online passes. They could be a thing of the past. Warner Brothers haven't responded
Online
to me.
past.
Nice.
It's all right.
You could say that online passes are like pizzas. I just really want a pizza.
Right.
I picked up on that.
Yeah.
I haven't had one in ages.
You've been very
Can someone
subtle
send
about
a
it.
pizza?
I think it might be a bit late. Do you understand how this podcast works?
No, but just whenever you hear this, just send one, and then
Where did you go, by the way?
I went to the toilet.
No, we don't need to talk about
Good
that.
update. Nice.
But no, I think it's interesting because I think something else is still coming. If Xbox have gone away from what they were planning and EA have stopped doing this, something else will come. Nothing goes away without something coming
I think
back.
it probably could just be this black and white that they just need.
Michael Jackson.
They need. No.
Oh, okay.
Burns is looking at me like, what?
He sang a song called Black and White.
Yes, he did. And that's
black
the end
or
of
white. It's black or white.
Is it?
Don't know. It don't matter if you're black or white. Yeah,
black
or
or
white.
white.
It doesn't matter.
Let's do some questions. It's gone way off track
Okay,
now.
sure. Right.
But online passes, read it on videogamer.com/date scam or scoops. That doesn't exist.
Scam
Just
or
go to
scoops.
videogamer.com.
Why aren't we making it?
Okay, so this comes.
How drunk Burns.
This
Why are we
comes
making
from
it?
the Video Gamer forums. This is from
words.
Debug Design, who has finally resurfaced after 2 years away from video games. Really, he's had 2 little girls. Congratulations!
Hello, Debug. Well done.
And
Well done.
apparently, they're finally starting to sleep at normal times, which means he can play his Xbox again.
Awesome.
He's just cleared Gears of War 3, started Borderlands, but which 5 games from the past couple of years, which he's missed, should he endeavour to play on the Xbox?
5
now that he's back?
years?
No. Did I say that? Sorry, I meant 5 games from the past 2 years.
Oh.
Exclusives or
Anything. Well, I guess I don't think it really matters to him.
Xbox.
He hasn't had a chance to play any Xbox games
Well, I
in
don't know
the
what
last 2
he's
years.
played, but he said Gears of War. I don't know which one. So Gears of War 3,
he said
Skyrim.
he said Gears 3. Halo 4.
Walking Dead episodes. I think you've just started playing them, haven't you?
I've just started. No. Yes. But I don't want to spoil it for me. I'll be so sad if someone spoils it
See,
for
well,
me.
that show just your
Did he not
instant
spoil
reaction
it for
shows
you
how much
before?
I don't listen when he talks.
Like, what a horrible
Ruined
thing
it
to
for
say.
me. I'll never forgive you for
No,
that.
it didn't ruin it
you
for
play
you.
Skyrim. Halo 4 is a good shout.
I'm not sure Halo 4 would be in my top 5, I don't think, for the Xbox games.
Probably not for me either. but
XCOM if you're into
that
tactical
wouldn't be my
games.
top 5 either. Somehow get Last of Us to work on your 360. Good luck with that. If you do it, let us know.
Bastion, just because of the narration was freaking awesome on it.
I can't think of anything.
Kane Lynch 2, get that one in.
That's not last 2
I think
years.
we're gonna.
Well, it doesn't matter.
And either way, just no.
Why not? You haven't even played it, Brad.
just go.
I've heard lots of people who have played
brilliant.
it.
Well, I've heard that you're a scum-sucking
No.
dog.
Whoa! You really do care about Kane and Lynch too.
I heard it. I'm just.
Burns
highlighting-
is drunk, so anything he says now, take it with a
I
pinch
popped
of salt.
out for a drink.
Yes.
Video Gamer reviews filtered by score. Done.
Arkham City. That was 2011.
Arkham City, yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I've given you enough.
I think there's some good games on that list.
What about Bioshock Infinite?
You want to be careful with
Yeah,
Batman.
Bioshock Infinite. It's a good game. No, it's a good game.
Nah, it's rubbish. Wrong.
I reckon FIFA 12, FIFA 13, and pre-order FIFA 14.
There you go.
All right.
Hope you like
I don't
football.
I don't really.
Yeah, if you don't like football, tough. You're just
It's a
going to have to
stupid
play all of those
suggestion.
now. Moving on to Twitter, we've got...
Hi, Twitter.
What have we got here? This is from Rob Slack. He says, never had a day one console and currently have both on pre-order. You lucky man, you. Concerned about PS4 Online Party. Have you seen it in action?
No.
You haven't.
The
but
online stuff. No.
Yeah, there's been some...
But let's face it, PS3 is still finding its way on that kind of stuff, so I assume with PS4 there will be a bit of a learning curve as well. No one does online better than Xbox. I think we can all agree with that.
I've got a feeling they're going to nail it this time. Just
I hope
from
they
the
do.
stuff they've been showing
I
off
hope
so
they
far.
do, but I still think there'll be some teething problems. Which is
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'll take that. That's fine. So yeah.
As long as it all works out in the end. This is from Ben Kenny. Who out of all the Video Gamer employees would last the longest in a zombie apocalypse? And note that he's referring to the zombies being similar to the ones from Shaun of the Dead.
Well, you'd be last because I've seen you on your State of Decay series, which you can check out on the YouTube video for VideoGamer.
Promotion!
And
I like it. I'd be
you
alright.
die a lot. Or you kill a lot of people anyway.
Yeah, I'm myself. I'm the puppet master of all these people. I'd be all right.
I'd put Burns because he's played Resident Evil so many times. He probably knows every which way to survive.
Yeah, but they're different zombies to Shaun the Dead.
What's Shaun of the Dead
But
zombies?
they're faster and more dangerous. So
Yeah.
What Shaun of the Dead zombies are?
No, Shaun of the Dead
I
are
play a lot of
quite
Left 4 Dead.
passive.
Oh, that's true. there's Left 4 Dead
Basically,
as well.
the rules are this: order some pizzas, Chill out. Ride
Every
that
dead
fucker out.
Not
See,
once in
okay.
Left 4 Dead does that happen.
No, but in Shaun the Dead, that is exactly what they would do, and so I'm going to
and
go
it
with
goes
Steve as
wrong.
well.
Exactly.
See, I think-
No, but it only goes wrong because they make a series. He makes those horrible blunders for that girl, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's like, wham, in love with some girl. Wham, going to go and see her. Wham.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
He
stepdad
goes to
turned into
save
a
his
zombie.
mum as well. I think he does
Yeah,
that too.
and what happens there?
Yeah.
Exactly. Dead.
I think I'd do a great job at surviving.
You wouldn't even notice, Dave.
Listen.
You're too busy doing
I've got so many
news.
achievements. So many
You're playing
achievements.
Need for Speed the Rivals and be like, shit, what happened? Autolog's gone down.
Yeah. I'd do a great job at surviving, but then I'd accidentally, I don't know, maybe see a burger on the floor. Oh, that looks nice. And it's got a bit of zombie blood on it.
Oh no!
And
not
I'd
how it works.
accidentally, zombie up
Accidental
myself.
zombie.
No, because then it wouldn't go into your bloodstream.
It would if he eats it. Accidental zombie.
Not in the way that it does when they.
I think you can. I think if you ingest
it does
zombie
work like that.
blood.
I thought zombies had to. Oh, you know what? I don't know how zombies work. Whatever.
Well, yeah, I reckon. Yeah, that accidental zombie would be a pretty embarrassing way to go, if I'm honest, Dave. But I could see it. Okay,
I'd be a happy zombie.
what about you, Simon? You reckon
Yeah.
you'd be alright?
Oh, I'd kill them all.
No.
I'd stand no chance
You
against
would.
zombies.
You would, but towards the end of the film, you would.
You know.
You would go down as a hero, but you'd be like a super zombie, and none of us would be able to fight you.
You know, in The Mummy, that's right, from 1999.
Right.
Do you remember there is that order with the guy that draw paint on their face and ride horses? Do you remember those guys?
No.
Yeah.
And they're there to protect Egypt. Do you remember there's the old guy that for no reason, once they've jumped on the sewer, he just decides, you know what, I'm going to go slaughter a load of these guys and gets killed. I'd be that guy.
Right.
That's what I'd do.
But,
So I wouldn't do
but
very
you don't
well.
want to do that against zombies because you're only adding to their numbers.
I want to be the zombie king.
Oh god,
ZK.
that's how this goes. Right. Well, Mark Gregory asks, which are better, mini rolls or chocolate fingers? Better not ask Dave. It'll just turn smutty. And
I'm
the reputation
from
you've
that
got.
question. Video game
you
questions
see what you
only.
did then? You're disgusting. Chocolate fingers.
Only you knew what that was, Chris.
Yeah.
Because you're
Move
a bad
on,
man.
please move on.
Hootle says, my son's teething and I was up all night because of that. Any tips on coping with no sleep? Because I have 8 hours of work now.
Skyrim.
Don't have children.
Good
Well, that's a good
suggestion.
one. It's
Also,
kind of
he
not
asked
gonna
this
work for
a
him
day
now.
ago, so I think we might be
there-
too late to give him a good suggestion.
Isn't
Where are
there-
the video game questions?
Can't you trade children in for like credit or something
'cause you-
somewhere?
Game take them.
They do, don't they?
Well,
It's like for Steam credit now.
We could have said, I don't know, play video games to stay up later
I said
or something.
that.
That would have been
Skyrim.
fine. That would have been fine. Good.
Hours of entertainment.
And final question comes from Stephen Wyatt on Twitter, who asked, could any of you lovely people review Prison Architect? Yes, it's
What?
awesome. It's absolutely awesome. It's
It's a game with
Is
that
that
theme
like-
hospital where you build a prison. It does sound quite
That's
good.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like bloody intro version. They're
Fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's like our idea that we had.
it's definitely
No,
not. And we're
it's
not going to talk
definitely
about
not.
that. We're not talking about that.
No,
We've
we're
got
not
the best
talking about
game
that.
idea ever.
No, we're not
No,
talking
no,
about
no,
We
it.
have to
no,
keep
no,
it
no.
under wraps. I'm just explaining.
we'll
We
get
have
arrested.
to keep it under wraps, not because we'll be arrested, but simply because one of the big publishers will steal the idea and
I
take
can
it.
categorically say that would not happen.
Yeah, pretty sure we just...
But let's move on.
And I want to distance myself from that idea.
It's the
Just
new Heavy
publicly
Rain.
Whilst we're here. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, I guess that really we could do with pimping the podcast competition and stuff, because we got 1 week until that's over.
Dogs, right? Dogs
yeah,
in games.
Silly dogs in
Top
games.
6 dogs in games.
Something like that. Just go check the forums out. If you can draw a funny picture, you might win a video game, and you can also win a video game just for being a nice person on the forums, which is pretty good.
Not
isn't
much
it?
competition.
Whoa.
That's
You're
not
never,
nice,
you're never
Dave.
on the forums, so
Yeah, you gotta
can,
apologise
you
for
have
it,
no
Dave.
leg
I
to
read
stand
every
on.
comment that is made.
Dave Scam will retract that statement.
And yeah, you know what? Just an example of someone who's been lovely on the forums. Vitaly Zavetsky, I hope I said that right, is the guy that sent in the new intro and outro music, and that was through the
Yeah,
game
Dave.
forums. So
Yeah.
screw you, Dave, and leave Vitaly alone.
I did like that music.
Yeah,
I think actually it's Vitali.
Vitaly.
Klitschko.
Oh, no. Vitaly
He's a big fan.
Zavetsky.
Big fan.
That's cool. But yeah, I guess that kind of wraps up the podcast this week.
It felt like it
does.
started very focused and then went a bit crazy
Yeah.
towards the end.
Do you have the address for the pizza if you're going to actually send it?
There's no right.
You
No
find
one
it on the
send a
internet.
pizza.
Oh, actually, no.
No one send a pizza. It's weird.
It's not. It's no more weird than someone designing the intro and outro music.
It is.
It
It's
is.
edible. It'll be going to your bloodstream. There'll be zombie blood on it.
That's
and
true.
this is-
Actually, they could be.
this is how
it
it
could
goes
be
wrong.
interfered with.
Oh, I
Very
don't like your eyes
easily.
right
I tell you
now.
why we
Don't
need,
like your
we
eyes.
need to wrap this up because soon Dave is going to become one with his chair.
I'm almost horizontal right now.
Oh, man.
Scaring me a little bit.
But yeah, so thank you very much for listening to the Video Game
Sorry, we were a
Review
bit
podcast.
later this week as well. It's my fault. I had a lot
It was
of
Batman's
Batman
fault.
stuff to do.
You were very
and
stressed
I
out
didn't-
today.
It was Batman.
I was juggling about 8 things at once, and
Batman.
then something happened which made it worse. But you know,
Simon, your Batman talk at the beginning of this podcast was worth the wait, sir. So
well, you
don't
know,
feel bad at all.
That's what I
It's
exist to achieve.
Good. Well, awesome. Dave, Steve, Simon, thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, didn't even
this
get a chance
week.
to say goodbye. That's it. He just cut us off then.
Oh, God, you do this every time. Just okay. Simon, would you like to say goodbye to the little lovely
It's
listeners?
so annoying that I don't know like a huge monologue because I would start saying that, but I don't. So thanks for joining us. And I'll see you soon.
Steve, do you want to say goodbye?
Yeah.
Dave.
Could I end with a story?
Oh, is it
Go for it.
podcast
A quick story.
acceptable?
No, I better wrap it up now.
We haven't done a podcast in months without you going crazy by the end of it, and I appreciate that immensely.
No worries. Till next time.
Till next time. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.